All right, so we're excited to be here. We've got our team. This is really kind of the first episode of our Artisan series. We've done something like this before with a couple of other partners last year, but we kind of tucked it inside of our partner series. And after doing a few of them, we realized that we wanted to kind of lift these out and make sure that a special attention was paid to them. And so we decided to come up with a name for them. And this year in 2022, we're going to do them probably, and we don't know how many there'll be. There might be 4, might be 6, 8, 10. It just depends on how many suppliers like Sandlot goods we run into. The way I've described the Artisan series for those watching is it's sort of like when you build the partner series that most are familiar with is when you build a house, you need a roof. Every house you build needs a framer, a roofer, a painter, plumber, electrician. But every house doesn't need the artisan to build a custom wood structure or something out of stone or something like that. And so when we come or when we come across partners like Sandlot Goods, we want to lift them out and make sure that we present them really as what they are, which is kind of an artisan and a probably a narrower product focus, and something that we just think is really cool that we want our customers to know about. And in some instances, we may not even be sure how they're going to use it. So with that, I real quick, so those people, we have our team on screen. So Adam, that you see just on screen here, is from Sandlot Goods. We'll be hearing from him in a second. Buck, Brett, and Alex and myself are basically the sales team for Goodson right now. And so we're excited to hear from you, Adam, and I know that Brett and I and really everybody that's come across the product loves it. So with that, Adam, I'm going to turn it over to you, man.
Cool. Yeah, well, thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk a little bit about what we do here at Sandlot, and kind of just give you a quick run through of the products that we offer for the promotional goods industry. To be transparent, we're sort of new in that lane. We're primarily a retail brand that works, mostly with wholesale clients, and we do some custom work as well, especially now that we're entering headwear, kind of finding a nice niche there for that kind of product. So, but I think long-term promotional products is definitely like a nice strategic part of our business that we want to nurture. And I'm very grateful for like this relationship that we're building with you guys. So thanks for supporting us like early on in the process and allowing us the opportunity to do this. Really appreciate it.
Really quick, I got off screen there because I was like, I'm looking at the light coming in. I heard trucks in the background, so I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be rude, but I needed to like tighten up my environment here.
Oh, no problem at all. I'm just going to share my screen here and get started on a little bit of a presentation. So you can jump in with questions if you have anything along the way, or if you want me to expand or move faster, that's super cool too. So just kind of let me know. Our slogan's premium pastime. Everything that you see from us is going to have kind of an air of nod to the past. I think there's like a lot of nostalgia when it comes to the way we approach design and the categories that we're drawn to. If you look at our wholesale product line and the things available on our website, you'll kind of see that sort of nod backwards in time. We started in 2014 as a small leather goods manufacturer. As our name suggests, we are very into baseball as a company culture. And so initially we were wanting to make leather goods from repurposed baseball glove leather. Quickly ran into a scale problem there. And so then we started using people who supplied baseball glove leather, and now have just sort of incorporated baseball as like a part of our ethos. So the products you're seeing here, some of our first iterations. In the top right, you can kind of see this nice baseball diamond cutout that's become kind of an iconic part of our Monarch wallet there. And so these leather goods are kind of our roots and our history. During the pandemic, we got into soft goods because we, like most people, started doing masks and PPE and things like that. And so that's kind of pushed us to where we are now, where we've gotten a little bit more involved in soft goods. And I think that's a big part of our future. Our owner, Chad, always wanted to have a hat manufacturing line. He's a guy who wears hats every day of his life. And so, when we were kind of coming towards what we thought was the end of masks, we had conversations about what we were going to pivot out to, and hats was kind of the clear winner because of its, again, like its nostalgia, its meaning to him, and all of those things. So I'm going to show you a quick video here if I can. with our hat line. You'll have to let me know if you can hear this because I'm a little nervous about how this plays on screen.
I've always dreamed of making hats because it's more than an article of clothing. It's a legacy.
Can you see the video? Is it not playing?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, we can see. I can see it and hear it.
Okay, cool. I couldn't see it on my my screen that like shows me what you're seeing, so I just was concerned. I'll play again. Here we go.
I've always dreamed of making hats because it's more than an article of clothing. It's a legacy. There's something really special about knowing that every single piece of this hat has been designed, manufactured, and sold right here in Kansas City. It's been quite a long road. Countless failed designs, revisions, and broken machines. Making hats from scratch is no small task. Yet here we are, an American hat manufacturer, stitching together a legacy, one seam at a time.
So that's kind of our pitch in terms of hats, and I think it's certainly like our big category that we want people to think of when they hear the name Sandlot. So
I love that. I'm just going to jump in and say, like, again, I think the brand, there's so much synergy, I think, between our brand and the Sandlot brand, you know, very like kind of, and I got to get me one of these hats that look like a baseball stitch. That's sweet. But I don't know why I hadn't seen that before. But I know that Brett, I got to give Brett credit. He's really the one that discovered you guys. I think that he was perusing something that one of our partners does that's similar to our partner series, although we think ours is better. But in the moment I saw, like, you know, just this idea, this old school baseball cap and the brand itself and everything, I was like, man, there's just like, we definitely have to work with these guys because there's a lot of synergy between, I think, how we see our brand and how you see yours.
yeah, I feel that, you know, just a few clients that we've pitched things at and the designs that you guys have thrown my way, it's very clear that there's a lot of overlap, both like from a design side, but also just like, I think the way we approach business and the things that we value and all of those things too, which is really cool. Yeah, thanks. And that video was kind of like our launch for us. We ran some ads and things like that just to kind of like let people know that we're entering the space, and we're really proud of it. I think it's pretty fun. So yeah, you're seeing a few different things here that we make from scratch in-house. Primarily, we like our things are wool, but we can source materials from all over the place and do a ton of different things. So there's a few examples here. Some of these are from our Negro Leagues collection. We carry a license for the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. And I just kind of felt like they were some of the designs that showed a little bit more range, where we have, you know, things like the split down the middle, the change in brim color, the larger embroideries and things of that nature. This is all our vintage flat bill fit. So we also offer a 5-panel that's kind of got the pleat in the middle. You know, it's that kind of like vintagey, almost like 80s or 90s feel. A lot of times you see them with like rope on the brim, that type of thing. And then we do a trucker, a dad hat, which of course everybody loves, and a soft back trucker, which is basically a dad hat, but it's just got kind of like a softer mesh. It's less structured. So that's what we're offering as of right now. And then we're kind of keep adding things as we keep going. I mean, we're 18 months into hats, and so definitely like a long road ahead of us, hopefully. So, and then on the embellishment side, you guys alluded to the applique. That's definitely like what we love to do here in house. We do a whole series of applique things for different cities and states and whatnot. And then we also do direct embroidery. We can do woven patches, we can do embroidered patches, all kinds of different fun things there. We can also do like a direct print on hats if we want to do that type of thing. So it's pretty fun. And then retail on these guys, we retail between $29 and $49, depending on the material, the hat, the decoration method, all those fun things, the trims and all that, you know, factor into it. So yeah, pretty fun.
And real quick, talk about, so this is all really helpful. I think what I would say, people watching this, and we're in the business, but even I still say I learn things all the time. But like, if you're looking at these pictures that are on screen, the felt applique is demonstrated by the KC hat in the corner. That's essentially, and really all felt applique is, and Adam, you can certainly correct me, is just where they laser a felt material and then sew it onto the front of the hat, as opposed to directly embroidering the hat. And the direct embroidery is demonstrated by the one above it, which is also KC, right? But I think that looks like direct embroidery there.
Yep.
Which
Yeah.
most people are familiar with. And then the patch, that's interesting. So is the one there on the right with the lion, is that a patch?
Yeah, so that's kind of an old school patch method where we take a sheet of felt basically, and then we embroider this on top of the felt, and then we laser cut the patch itself. Obviously, you can do more of the traditional embroidered patches where it has kind of that like ribboned finished edge too. But this is kind of like a combination between applique and a patch.
Awesome. Yeah.
And it has that like older feel to it. And
I
then
haven't seen that. That's really cool.
yeah, that's a really fun way to do things for sure. I'm working on some projects right now where we're gonna do some really cool looking ones.
And obviously it kind of depends on the art. Like the art has to kind of lend itself, to that, right? To that method.
Yeah, absolutely. It's best if it's kind of a simpler 2 or 3 color design. And you do have to kind of leave maybe 1/4 of an inch on the exterior so that it gets sewn on appropriately. But it has a really, really sharp look. There's not a lot.
Yeah. And so real quick, while we're here, let's talk minimum quantities. I think you said the minimum is 25 pieces, right?
Yeah, it depends on the style of hat. So for the vintage flat bill, which is what you see on the screen, we can do those as little as 20. That's based on our cut pattern. So essentially, like any one layer of fabric we do, we cut at least 20 hats. On the dad hats and the truckers, those we want to do 25. So yeah, that's our ask in those areas.
And just so Dad and Brett and Alex, please. This is interactive, so if you've got questions, ask them. But if I'm missing anything, and the lead times, Adam, in general, are what?
4 to 6 weeks for the most part. We've been on a 4-week lead time since we started. We're starting to get a little bit larger partners that are pushing things out, but we are doing everything we can to keep it at 4 weeks because we just like the sound of it and we want to be fast for people as much as possible.
And when we come to them at, say we're quoting a flat bill project for a client, telling them, a 4 to 6 week turnaround, 20 piece minimum, whatever cost we give, are there setup charges? Are there other fees? Or when we come to them, it's, hey, this is going to be your price per cap, including everything, essentially.
Yeah, it's pretty one shot. We don't have a setup fee or anything like that currently. And right now there's no price difference between any of the decoration methods either. So when we cost things out for you guys, it's pretty much like this is the cost of the hat and we're happy to do it that way. I can see in the future if we start to do like patch heavy things that we'll want to cost that out a little differently. But for now, it makes a lot of sense. Just make it easy.
So for the customers watching this, obviously this is a higher end option. This is definitely not your promotional hat giveaway, and admittedly, it probably needs to fit a particular use case, which again, I think lends itself to the idea of it being an artisan series. But this sort of vintage wool cap with this old school look. I know that when we got them, I know that when Adam sent us samples, I thought it was cool on screen, and then I got them and I was like kind of fanboyed out a little bit, honestly, from remembering back to my younger days of, playing baseball and getting those new era caps or whatever that were, those actual like real player caps and things like that. So I think that for the right situation, they're very cool.
Yeah, definitely. And we're under no delusion that we're not the cheapest hat on the market, and we're certainly not for everybody, but I do think we have a certain aesthetic and for people who want to support Made in the USA, that type of thing, we're definitely a good option. So
good. Cool.
I threw on a few slides about other products that we do, if that's cool. I don't know if you want to Perfect. The next one, this is kind of like what pushed us into promotional products in general, was our woolly can cooler. So it's 100% wool. It's sort of our environmental response to neoprene koozies. I'm sure you guys know about neoprene. Most people have heard like some headlines that, you know, neoprene's not great for the environment. And so we wanted to come up with something that was easier on the environment, that was basically zero waste. And so we found this heavy wool material that's naturally insulative, and we make koozies out of it. We're really proud of it. It takes direct embroidery really well because it's dense. So you can get like a super, super fine embroidery detail out of it. We also do patches. Leather patches on this are really, really sharp. And we can also do prints on them, which is a great way to like get if you have a really high resolution image, or you have an image that has a lot of colors, that would be a pain to embroider. We can do like a direct print onto something like this, which is really, really cool. Yeah. So
that really quick, that decoration. Go ahead, Brett. Sorry.
I was going to say the direct embroidery on a koozie, number one, it's just like, it's so cool to me. I don't know why. Embroidery has been done for as long as I can remember, and longer than I've been alive. But doing it on a koozie for some reason just shakes up the industry. I just get so excited about it for some reason and love it.
Yeah, I agree. And is that, so I see that one on screen with the woolly, is that like I don't know, like a woven label kind of a thing?
Yeah, that's like a woven label essentially, that we just kind of branded. I wish I had more photos of this, but I can send you guys some. But we do custom work for a bunch of breweries that will do like leather patches on these that look really, really sharp. And then our licensed versions of these are direct embroidery. It just looks like a koozie out of like the 60s or something like that. I don't think we ever had this in the 60s, but it does have that like era to it. And you can just
I guess my question real quick, Adam, and I don't mean it, is if our customers wanted to do a woven label like that, in other words, if they want to decorate it exactly as, can they do that? Or is that just a thing where you guys did the woven label in a much higher quantity to kind of brand it for yourselves? And
no, we can totally do that type of thing for them. It's something we offer at like our base quantity of 25 on this type of thing. And so, you know, we'd be happy to arrange that type of stuff. It does add a little bit of lead time. So that would take your lead time to about 4 weeks. Whereas, you know, if we do direct embroidery or a print, we can generally turn these around in a week or so, which is.
And the minimum is 25, you said?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow. Okay. I love this item. As a matter of fact, I think
on the woolies and really everything, I mean, the way that they've kind of positioned themselves in the promotional product space, they've like, look, product, decoration, product cost, decoration cost. It's as easy as it comes, really. That's what I'm really excited about. And then the minimum order quantity allows you to get more of a premium promotional product at a lower quantity. So you're not really breaking the bank, but it does kind of fit those smaller needs that you may have, or just to do something really cool for an internal staff or an internal event or something like that.
Yeah.
Again, it's a premium product. You know, it's not dye sublimated and those types of things that are going to save a bunch of money. But I think it's like one of those things that people are going to want to hang on to for a long time. And obviously we love the environmental impact of it, that kind of thing. So yeah. And again, same deal here, where the decoration and all that fun stuff is it's just a unit price. We don't have any sort of setup fee. All the decoration methods are the same price. It's pretty simple.
And I think we'll just do this on air, so to speak. But I think you and I talked to Adam about doing some of these for us, and that would be the item, because, you know, typically for like our partner series and stuff, we offer an item. If people watch and reach out to us, we're happy to provide, you know, something as sort of a thank you for doing that. And I know this was the item we discussed providing. So anybody watching this and we'll be promoting it, but anyone watching this who is interested, reach out to us and we'll get you one of these. Check out.
Bunch of fun colors too, which is really cool. And then I will say, just for anyone watching and for you guys to know, We are working with a new wool supplier, placing our order today probably, and we're going to be able to drop the retail price on these down to $9.99, which is going to be amazing. And I think is going to help them for sure, but obviously makes it a little bit better on your clientele too. So,
and still a minimum of 25.
Yep.
Wow, man, I'm excited about this. I know Brett's excited about it, but
it's very what in the promotional product space. There's obviously a lot out there. So when you find little niches like this, they're just sometimes it can feel like there's very few things that get you really excited in the promotional product space, and this is one of those things, like the old school caps, the woolies. And I'm not sure if you'll talk about the yard ball as well on this call, but like there's certain things I'm just like, dude, that just speak to my spirit and get me excited about branding opportunities for a lot of my clients and how they can kind of build their brand with this really cool stuff.
A lot more craftsmanship involved with it.
Yes, totally.
Production.
Yeah, definitely. Pennants. I mean, what kind of baseball company would we be if we had?
I know.
We've done a bunch of iterations on pennants over the years, but I think we've really kind of found what is going to work for us. So we do 3 pennant sizes. The large is like what baseball pennants were back in the day, but we kind of feel as though for most people, it takes up a lot of wall space. And so we kind of market it more as a large. It's 9 inches by 27 inches. And then we do our standard at 8 by 18, and we offer a mini that's 4 by 9. They're all 100% wool, and then they get a direct print on them. So the direct print is great for something like this because there's no color limitations. It's not like a screen print thing where like you can only do 3 or 4 colors. You can, I mean, if you want to print a rainbow on here, or you want to do a crazy gradient or something and go edge to edge, we can do all of those fun things. And then the spine is acrylic felt, and then the tassels are again wool. We can also do acrylic felt applique on here, similar to like what we do on a cap, where we would laser cut those letters and then stitch them on to the pennant itself. And we can also do vinyl applique if somebody wanted vinyl or leather. Those types of things are pretty easy.
You can pretty much a la carte the colors, correct? I mean, like you have, I guess, like the main stripe there on the left, you got your wool color over to the left, and you've got like your main pennant color. Is that pretty much a la carte, or?
Yeah, we have probably 90 pennant colors and about 40 spine colors. So there's quite a lot of room for customization in there. And it's like, for you guys, it's honestly tough because it becomes like, I can't really send you a swatch with 90 things on it, you know? But it does give us the ability to just kind of have you design whatever you want and then come to me and we figure out, you know, what fabric matches.
Yeah, is this 25 piece minimum on the pennants, or is it a little bit higher, or what are we at on the pennants?
Nope, 25 on those is great. We feel really good about that. Retail at 19, we feel good at. This is another one where we are using the same felt supplier as Woolly, and so we may see the price drop on this a little bit, but we are holding fast on the price for now. So
in this lead time still about 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It just takes us a week or so to get the spine on hand if we don't have it, but if we happen to have the colors in stock, then it's really, really fast. And I should say the pricing on the mini is half of this, so it retails at $9, and then the large retails at $24.
Got it. So the 19 is for the standard.
Correct. Yeah. The minis are really fun. They're just like kind of silly little, you know, they're not too big, but they.
And 9 inches is still, you know, like that's still a decent size.
Yeah, for sure.
It's interesting.
Kind of
Let me ask this just a really quick. I think I know the answer to this, but like looking at that pennant, I assume that, you know, again, 25 minimum for a pennant, same art. So if like somebody came to me like, oh, I want to do a few different versions, like they got to do 25 of each one. We can't like mix and match within the 25 different layouts or designs.
So it's 25 per like base per like fabric choice. So You come and you say, I want a black pennant with a white spine. I want to sell you 25 of those. But within that, if you say, I want 12 with this print and 12 with this print, that's perfectly fine.
Really?
Those are, because we're direct printing on this type of thing, and not screen printing, we have the ability to just sort of drag and drop those designs in. And
Now that is interesting because like I think about the Goodson brand and unfortunately, sometimes I feel like the guy who works at, like I had a job at American Eagle when I was in college and I had to really be disciplined and not spend my whole paycheck on clothes. And like sometimes in this business, I see this stuff and I'm constantly translating it into our own brand. But what would be super cool, like in our case, we have a lot of different kind of cool logos and branding elements that we've created. And, you know, I could see us coming and saying, hey, we want to do some pennants for decor around the office because it fits our brand for sure. And doing, you know, 25 of them, but doing 8 of this, you know, imprint and 8 of this, you know, all of them black with a white spine, for example, or something like that, or maybe the same color. But yeah, so that's interesting to know.
yeah, we like, I'll give you an example. We do a series of pennants for a construction company, and they have like 18 offices. And so they have 6 different pennant bases, and then each one of those bases gets one of 3 art choices. And so that's how they, like, their employees sort of collect these pennants based on which offices they go to and work at and stuff. And so they end up with, you know, unique pennants for each office, which they really enjoy. And it's not, they don't have to buy 25 of 18 different pennants. They can just, you know, do it on a smaller scale. So, and I think some of that for us too is like, we're new in the industry and we are pretty fleet-footed. And so, you know, we're trying to like break down some of those barriers to entry for people as much as possible. And also like we're a premium product as much of the time. So, you know, we just kind of want to.
I've taken some screenshots while we're doing this and I'm sending some emails on other screen to clients just while it's fresh in my mind of saying, hey, what do you think about this? Yeah. So I just, yeah, I'm multitasking.
Kind of going along with this, we do like a mini banner. It's kind of like a championship style banner, or like I don't know. It's just that kind of hot wall shape, wall hanging thing that people do now. It's 13 by 19. It's a kind of heavy cotton canvas on the base, and then an acrylic border. It's the same acrylic we use on the pennants. And then we do felt applique on this, or a direct print. Again, like same type of thing applies here where, you know, we're looking for 25. We'd like 25 of those to be the same type of canvas. And then print wise on it, it's kind of up to you.
And the same lead time of 4 to 6 weeks.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean,
this could be like direct print. So for example, like if I had a photo that I wanted to print on it, can you do that kind of thing? Or
yeah, we've done that. Yeah, we can get pretty, especially on canvas, we can get really, really good quality output on stuff like this, where it's almost photo quality. It's a little tougher on other materials, but yeah.
Wow. I love this product. I love it. I'm sitting here trying to think. This is a classic example of something I think is incredibly cool, but I think through use cases. So there's the obvious use case, you know, of banners hanging in sports arenas, you know, but and I'm trying to think of how that would translate to some business use cases. Could you help us with that, Adam? What have you seen? How have you seen some use cases on this thing?
Most of our clients for this have actually been sports teams. So it's been,
okay. Got it. So
yeah,
that makes sense.
I mean, maybe you have some sort of like you hang them up at like a golf outing, or something. But yeah, it is tough to think about how you could utilize these and kind of get the effect that you're going for outside of a sporting event.
Well, I think, you know, decor in the office is a use case. I also think like if, you know, lots of companies memorialize recognition sometimes for certain things, and, you know, they're typically doing that with plaques or, you know, what's very common in our industry, which is the glass or acrylic awards, wood awards, whatever. I think this would be an interesting spin on that, you know, sort of like bringing the sports arena into the business office, you know, where you start to, you know, if you had a banner when you receive an award, you know, it'd be kind of cool to walk into an office and see like, you know, banners like, I don't know, hanging on the wall or from the ceiling, like championship banners hanging in arenas, you know.
I I know my wife, she works for GE, and they just recently got some recognition package, but they work with Louisville Slugger, and so they all got their own little custom, like I think the mid-sized bats. But I mean, something like that where they work with Louisville Slugger and those kind of like recognitions, like you said, would be a really awesome
Yeah.
use case, I think.
Yeah, that's super cool. I like that.
So this is the same thing, same canvas, but we could change out the artwork. So if we wanted to do some of these for Goodson, and actually this medium may actually work a little better for our space. We already have some kind of mounted canvas prints that we created. I want to kind of send those over to you, Adam, after the fact. And I think this would be cool to consider as a way to add some decor to the office here.
There's a lot more use for that if you think about it, because so many meetings just like this one are done more and more with clients. So we make a great backdrop.
Yeah.
Being on a TV set, studio set.
When we launched this, it was very much like, what could we give people that would, like a company might give to their work from home staff and say, like, stick this in your Zoom background or like in your office area or whatever. And we really wanted to like come up with something that was a wall hanging for, you know, for that type of use, but that's kind of where we've been going with it. Yeah.
So I got one more question. In the case of, and somebody might have already answered this. In the case of being able to kind of like change on a dime the imprint on the same material, same pricing for the same material, would that mean that like so you could technically personalize those within the same run very easily?
And we actually we don't have a personalization charge for that kind of
That's a
thing.
great question, Alex. Yeah.
We've done some personalized pennants for folks, and they've been big hits. It's really easy for us to do, and we're happy to do it. So why not?
This is really, really cool. And we're still going.
Yeah, I got a couple more. Coasters are super fun for us. We do a lot for our retail partners, and then we kind of have a little niche with breweries because of Wooly. And so the plywood coasters, I think, are just like super duper sharp. They are laser etched cherry ply, so they get this kind of like very slight rosy red tone to them. You can get incredibly detailed with these. We've done some really fun ones over the years. Very, very easy to do. And like our turn on those is usually 10 days, depending on the quantity. But they're really, really unique. And then we can also do leather debossed coasters. And I think Brett and I have talked a little bit about our ability to do custom coaster shapes. So we do a series right now for ourselves that is their baseball park shapes. So we have like Chicago's field shape and Kansas City Royals field shape. And so if somebody came to us and was like, hey, I have this brand icon and I really want it to be an ampersand shape or something, we can totally do that.
What's the die costs and the minimum order for a project like that?
Yeah, the die cost varies based on like the complexity of the design. It's usually around $50. And we want to do 100 if we're going to do a custom die, just to kind of make it worth everybody's energy. But we do have, I think, 3 typical shapes. So we do a circle, a square, and then I'm not sure why the other one is escaping me right now. But yeah.
Was it like that baseball shape, that baseball field shape? You said the minimum was like 25 on these also if you're using the standard shapes?
Yep. Yeah.
And what?
Sorry, say that again.
Go ahead.
How many for a custom shape?
100.
That's extraordinarily reasonable.
Okay, that answers my question. So I saw those. I'm assuming that I'm looking at your website and I saw the stadium shapes. That I'm assuming those are the custom shapes, like outline of the stadiums.
Yep. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're super fun. Obviously, like we just have to size it appropriately so that a cup fits on it. And then we're also going to launch a Wooly coaster here in the near future, thanks to our new supplier. So it's a 5mm coaster. Same type of deal with Wooly, where like it's a 25 minimum. It'll be much lower cost than this stuff. and we'll do a direct print on those guys. So I don't think anyone's going to want like the direct print will be really, really cool, I think.
Got it. Yeah, this is great.
And then our last couple are totes. We're definitely not everybody's cup of tea in totes, but we have had some success with retail on them. And so, we also will do custom totes for folks. We like to have a minimum of 50 on custom totes. And when I say custom, I mean like custom shape, custom, literally like you design the tote and we'll make it for you, type of thing. So we've done tons and tons of projects like that, but we kind of kick out with it. So this is an example of our franchise tote. We call it that because it's our high-end one. So it's like your franchise player in baseball or whatever. This is our franchise tote. So it's got, the leather handles. That's a US leather, which we're really proud of. And then it gets a direct print on it. You can kind of see that here because it has that watercolor texture, which would be pretty impossible to pull off in screen printing methodology. So we can also do like patches and applique and those types of things on the tote if we want to. But we just kind of
consistent theme here, but then 25, 4 to 6 week lead time applies.
The totes we actually keep in stock, and so we want to do 12. And the lead time on those since we stocked them was about a week.
And what's the minimum on like if you did a custom like tote? Like you said, you do custom shapes and everything.
Yeah, for full custom, we want to do 50.
Okay, 50 minimum. And then since they have the direct print, is it the same as the banners to where if you wanted to do 25 different designs, you can do that on one order?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And no extra charge?
Not as of now.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Are there extra charges for the full custom tote?
We quote that out based on what people want, because we generally will end up sourcing fabric for them too, and so the yardage costs and those types of things play into it. But in terms of like the printing and that type of thing, no. We're going to come back to them and say, look, this is a X dollar tote for us to make, all in, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Is the DTG available on any other product?
It's available on all of them.
It is. Okay.
We're getting pretty good at it. We had some struggles at first, but we've really kind of found our footing with it, and yeah, we're proud of it. So.
And I'm on your website now, and I'm flipping through some of these woolly can coolies, and to Brett's point, like I'm looking at some of these, like these ones, even the KC one. Real quick on these ones, like that have like the leather. Is that real leather, or is it like a leatherette? Like, what's the material for the coaster and for the appliques that are leather or the patches?
It's leather. It's Wicket and Craig leather. They're an American tannery.
Okay.
We come from leather, and so we try and use American tan leather as much as possible.
But these things where it's got like the KC and the stitching down the middle, I mean, that is so cool.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. They're
yeah, I love it.
So then this is our utility tote. It's like our American made, non-gusseted, like simple flat tote, right? Like, those cheap totes that everybody does. We do them, and we feel like we wanted to offer like a kind of a down market, like easy tote that's made in the US. So that's what we did. And then you can kind of see the example in the bottom here of the DTG print that's got like a tropical pattern in relief. So you can see the little bit of like leaves and flowering coming through. Same rules apply here, 12 minimum, no like personalization charges or anything like that. It's a really like easy print for us. We do them in white and black. If you want a custom color, we can quote that for you. We can Pantone match that type of thing for folks, but we probably would want to do 50 on something like that.
And you said I'm sorry, you said the minimum on this
12.
12.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay. And you said there's no gusset in this thing. And what are the dimensions on it?
13 by 19.
Okay. Got it.
And this just allows for the DTG print, no screen print or applique or anything, or is it pretty much the same across the board as everything else?
It's just DTG on this one.
Okay. And the DTG, you can do that even on a black background, or do you sublimate the entire thing to where like that black tote right there was started off white and then you DTG the entire thing in black?
Nope, we do it on a black background.
Oh, okay.
How sturdy are these things? Like, can they carry some weight? I mean, are they pretty stout?
Oh yeah, for sure. We sold some to a brewery that uses them for like their 6-packs and of bottles and stuff, and it actually fits 2 of them. And yeah, I mean, it's not like the heaviest canvas that we use on the franchise tote. This is like very heavy. I think it's 14 ounces, but it's plenty good for it's heavier than what most people get at this for this shape, if that makes sense.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
The last thing I included, it's kind of sad because this is like our roots, but it's leather goods. And we initially did a lot of these for like corporate clients here in town. We've got a big medical software company called Cerner that did these as a 5-year gift for their folks. It takes a deboss really well. We can do the deboss on the interior and the exterior. We can do it on both. It depends on like where people want it. We can also do leather engraves on this type of thing. It's hand sewn in its entirety. It's laser cut and hand sewn. So it's kind of like a mixed match of new and old world technologies. But we do it in 2 sizes. We do like what we call a pocket journal cover. That's basically a passport cover. It fits a small field notes journal. And then we do a standard journal cover that fits like a normal size journal.
Like an 8.5 by 11, like
No,
tablet. Okay.
It's like it fits a specific moleskin that I don't remember the name of right now.
Okay. All right.
A popular moleskin size. So
And the minimum on these?
on these, it's 24.
Okay.
These are great options for like the if you want to do like folks' names on things like that. We regularly do things with laser etched names on this type of thing. And we just did some for like a veterinary clinic that had the doctor's names on them. They were really, really sharp. So
Now, what does personalization pricing look like on like these? Since they're in the boss.
If we're talking about laser, then it's the same as before, where we're not going to charge you for that. If you want to do like a deboss, we'd have to make press plates for everybody, and so we'd want to do a charge there, but I honestly don't know what that would look like.
Okay, awesome. But yeah, so laser, no extra charge for any personalization. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's me. That's what I got for you. You're welcome to email me if you want.
The one thing I wanted to ask about, I know Brett was excited about, was the yard ball. Can you talk about that?
I can. It is a new product for us. We are launching it this spring. We cannot retail it as of yet because we're actually launching it on Kickstarter. And they are pretty like intense about being the first place to get things like that. But it's a really cool product. It's like a slightly larger than a baseball. It's leather and hand sewn. It's got a wool core and then a twine outer, and then it gets wrapped in leather and sewn. So the idea is that you can play catch anywhere. You can play catch with yourself without needing a baseball glove. And so it's just like soft to the touch every time you throw it and catch it. It's just like, you know, that tape ball that you have in your office or whatever that you just like chuck between people and somebody catches it and you're like spitballing ideas back and forth. That's kind of what this is meant to be.
Yeah,
it's
this thing is absolutely the coolest, which I've not seen one in person, but like just based on what I'm seeing of it online, and just the fact that it's just brown leather, old school looking baseball. Again, it's just like nostalgia for days. Like the old
one right now.
Yeah, the old school hats, the embroidered, I mean, every ounce of what you guys are doing just strike a nerve. I think really in every young man.
You know when or what the retail price is going to be on those when they can hit retail?
We're going to retail them at 34.
Okay.
We would love to be lower than that, but honestly, like the amount of time that it takes to hand sew something like that is pretty consistent, and it will be really, really tough to bring it down.
And if and when
Well,
those are
well,
available,
minimum
promotional. I was going to say, if and when those are available in promotional product space, it sounds like you guys are just going to be laser engraving those, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
What will the minimum quantity be when they hit most likely?
25 most likely.
Okay. Yeah.
And we'll do them in a few colors. We're going to do it in black. We do a glove tan that we call, it's like a, that medium brown sort of nice baseball glove color. And then we'll do like a natural color as well. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to offer like stitching colors as well. So we've done some tests with different threads and things like that, but hopefully we'll be able to do like a custom stitch color for folks if they want that kind of thing.
Wow. Yeah. I'm with you, Brett. That's a cool item, and I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to it. But honestly, go ahead, Adam. Sorry.
I'll send you some.
Yeah,
That'd
please.
be awesome.
Yeah.
Please,
Try to throw one down in North Carolina where Brett is.
Yeah, yard ball.
The thing I was thinking, Adam, as I'm going through this is, I've been excited to do this. I know that we did a presentation with you that we didn't record just about the hat, and but I'm taking notes here, and I'm really excited and just about a lot of things, even beyond the hat. So it's so much more than hats. There was a part of me that was wondering, man, we should have done this as a partner series so that we could have had clients on here, and maybe we do that. We may end up coming back and doing that, but I do think this fits both, to me, potentially the Artisan series. But I think if we turn up, and I think if we hit this hard and we send it out to people, I think just getting this in front of our customers, there's no doubt in my mind that we'll have customers that take advantage of it. And that's the case. I think this thing could quickly become something where we're working with you guys consistently enough to bring you on and have customers, see it live. So
great. We love it.
You know how it is, man. I mean, everybody that's in business, there's a portion of what you do that you enjoy, and there's a portion that you don't. And but we really love, I think, what we do. It can be a grind at times, but to me, when we find companies like this and have the opportunity to bring something to our customers that's really unique and fun and high quality, I mean, that really, I think, I know it re-energizes me, and I hope re-energizes our team too, because then there's that kind of that excitement, that energy we leave something like this with, to have something to show people that you're proud to show them. And so you guys have done a great job, and I really appreciate your time and how supportive you've been of us, even though we really haven't sent projects your way, but they're coming, I promise.
All good. I mean, for us, it's like, you guys kind of alluded to it. We're sort of a niche in the market, and we're not everybody's cup of tea, but the excitement level and the appreciation that we've gotten from you guys is just like super energizing for me and for the team. It certainly like validates what we're trying to do here. And so, I'm just super thankful. And, as much as we can be a good partner for you guys, we want to do that. So don't hesitate to ask samples or whatever. We're happy to do those types of things.
So what I want to just close with and say is, anybody watching this, as we kind of mentioned, the woolly can coolie is something we're offering to anybody who takes the time to watch this. Reach out to us. We'll get you one of those. But also, I mean, if you're interested in placing an order for any of these items, reach out to us. I know Adam's been very helpful. Some of the samples may have cost, but we always try to minimize those sample costs for kind of higher end things. But we want to make sure that, people see things and can touch them and feel them. But we're excited to do more of these this year, and you know how to find us. Reach us at goodsonsupplyco.com or give us a call at 502-536-8250. And Adam, thanks again for your time.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a good day.